So, welcome back to our subject, organization and management. So, after discussing planning and organizing, we're heading now to our discussion about staffing. Managers often consider human resources as their organization's most important resource. So, very few administrators would argue with the fact that human resources are very important for the efficient and effective operation of a company. So, to emphasize their importance, human resources are also called human capital or intellectual assets or management or company talents. So these terms imply that human resources are the drivers of the organization's performance. Hence, staffing is a crucial function of managers. So, in this chapter, we will define the concept of staffing and discuss the various processes involved in systematic staffing. So, since in the organization and management, we really focused on the important functions of the managers or the things that are needed to be done under in an organization or any business. So let's head now to the topics under staffing. So for this chapter, we're going to discuss the following topics. A. Definition and nature of staffing or lesson 1, lesson 2 about recruitment, lesson 3 about selection, lesson 4 training and development, lesson 5 compensation or wages and performance evaluation or appraisal, and then about employee relations, employee movements, and last lesson would be reward system. Lesson 1, definition and nature of staffing. Staffing, according to Dyck and Neubert, is a human resource function of identifying, attracting, hiring, and retaining people with the necessary qualifications to fill the responsibilities of current and future jobs in the organization. So technically, yung staffing is all about the human resources or yung about sa mga tao under the organization. So it can be the managerial post or the non-managerial post or human resources. The number of managerial personnel or the non-managerial human resources needed by an organization will depend upon the size and complexity of its operation. So later on, we will discuss more about this under the steps that are included in staffing. So, kasi itong staffing is all about nga human resources. So, simula sa paghahanap pa lang or pag-identify mo pa lang kung ano yung mga jobs na kailangan sa isang organization and then up to retaining those people na nandun na sa organization or firm. So next will be the two main components of staffing. So we have recruitment and selection. So what's the difference between these two? So first, recruitment is a process of identifying and attracting the people with the necessary qualifications. And then the selection is choosing who to hire. So again, yung recruitment is ina-identify mo pa lang kung ano yung mga kailangan na job or work under your organization and then you attract people para pumasok dun sa organization mo. And then selection is from the people who were attracted or yung mga nag-a-apply is mamimili ka kung sino yung i-hire mo in your organization or in the business. So, later on, meron tayong separate lesson or topic wherein we will understand these two even more. So, I hope you got a picture of what we will be discussing later on. So, for now, let's discuss the steps in staffing. So the first step includes the identifying of job position vacancies, job requirements, as well as workforce requirements. So, dito papasok yung identifying dun sa definition natin ng staffing. So, based on the work that needs to be done, it should be fairly easy to estimate what your manpower requirements are. So, you can do this analysis through workload and workforce analysis. So, what's the difference between this workload and workforce analysis? So, workload analysis is a process of determining the various jobs being done and any existing organizational objectives. So, under workload analysis, ang ina-analyze natin is yung mga jobs or works that are needed to be done or what we are doing, of course, to meet the objectives of the organization. So, meaning, for example, there is an additional requirement or process to be done, and then kakailanganin mo ng manpower or mga tao for that. So, meaning, ina-analyze mo yung workload na nandun para maghanap or mag-identify ng mga job position or vacancies and job requirements para dun sa magiging workforce or manpower mo within the organization. While workforce analysis is the process of assessing the existing abilities of the current employees, what is missing, and how much manpower is necessary to fill this need. So, dito naman sa workforce analysis, ang ina-analyze mo naman is yung existing abilities ng current employees mo. So, again, sa workload, yung pinaka-work or yung job, and dito sa workforce, so yung tao mo naman. So, for example, kulang na yung mga tao mo or masyado silang loaded or mas marami sila talagang ginagawa. So, you assess ano yung nagkukulang or ganong karami pang manpower yung kailangan mo para mas ma-fill up mo yung mga missing dun sa nangyayaring processes or nangyayaring trabaho under your organization. So the next step is checking internal environment of the organization for human resources. So, 'di ba, after doing the workload and workforce analysis, the manager compares both as excess of workload over workforce, indicated understaffing, and you need to appoint more people. So, kapag mas marami yung workload, so yung work, kesa dun sa workforce mo or dun sa mga tao, so, mas kailangan mo pa ng more na tao to be able to fill up those workload. Whereas, if excess naman yung workforce mo over workload, so, ang ini-indicate niya is meron kang overstaffing and you need to remove or transfer some employees elsewhere. So, ibig sabihin kasi parang hindi nagkakaroon ng full utilization yung mga employees mo since mas marami nga yung workforce over the workload or yung sa mga trabaho. So, as both overstaffing as well as understaffing are undesirable. So, parehas naman din siyang undesirable. So, the manager tries to find out the manpower requirement by equating workload analysis to workforce analysis. So, dito sa pag-check, matitignan nila kung ano ba talaga yung nangyayari within the organization. So, kung mas marami ba yung workload or mas marami ba yung workforce. And they are doing their best to balance both the work and the workforce. Next step is external recruiting. So, if we can fulfill the requirement from inside the organization through transfers and promotion, then it is very economical and fast. But generally, organization must fulfill its requirement from the outside the organization. So, dito na papasok yung external recruiting. So, it means to recruit people from outside the organization. So, contact various placement consultants, employment exchanges, contractors, etc. But the most common way to recruit fresh talent is through advertisement. So, company advertises in newspapers, kaya makikita nyo dun, di ba, yung classified ads or yung kung saan pwede ka maghanap ng work. And many job seekers, after reading the advertisement, applies for the job. So, about this external recruiting or the recruitment process, we're going to discuss this fully on the next lesson. Next is selecting those with essential qualifications for the job opening. So, selecting or the selection refers to choosing the most suitable candidate to fill the vacant job position. So, the selection is done through a process which involves tests, interviews, etc. So, di ba, like a while ago, we discussed that the two main components of staffing is recruitment, as I told earlier. The third step is the recruitment, and then now the another main component is selection. So, ito yung fourth step natin. So, selecting kung sino ba yung or karapat dapat dun sa job or dun sa work na kailangan gawin sa isang organization. So, again, we have a separate topic or separate lesson for selection. So, we will discuss this more in lesson 3. Step 5, placing the selected applicant. So, once you selected the one with the most essential qualification, so you need to place that applicant. So, placement refers to occupying of post by the candidate for which he is selected. So, after selection, the employee is given appointment letter and is asked to occupy the vacant job position. So, after the placing, ang next na mangyayari is the orientation. So, under orientation naman, it refers to the introduction of new employees. If it is a large organization, meron silang formal orientation or programmed orientation to familiarize the new employees with the existing whereas or whereabouts or kung ano-ano yung mga rules and regulations or kung ano yung mga processes of, for example, leaves or process of filing this something or all about the company or the organization. While if the organization is small, so normally the superior takes the new employees on round or iikot dun sa buong organization or company and introduces him to the existing employees. So that's orientation. Next is promoting. So, in promoting, we are talking about promotion. So, promotion refers to being placed at a higher job position with more pay, job satisfaction, and responsibility. So, generally, based on feedback report of employees, or the performance that they give, so they are given promotion and opportunities for higher job positions. So, 'di ba, after yung placing or andun ka na nga sa work or ginagawa mo na nga yung selected or given na job position mo. So, upon feedback of your boss or of the manager or of the people that you are working with, so i-assess yung performance na ginawa mo and if you are worthy of that promotion. So, sa isang kumpanya naman or sa isang organization, it is a way of telling your employees that they really did a good job or they really did what the company or the organization expect them to do and minsan pa nga is ine-exceed pa nila. So, yun yung process ng under promoting. So, next is evaluating performance. So, actually, itong evaluating performance, pwede din yung before sa promotion or after promotion. Kasi after the employee has had a chance to get started in their position, so you will want to assess their performance and give them any feedback they require in terms of growth and success. So, if you observe that they are doing well, let them know or inform them of what they are doing right and where they can do better. So, without feedback, you are not giving the employee a chance to fix mistakes or feel a real sense of accomplishment within the job. So, dito sa evaluating performance is very important kasi kapag nga hindi mo sinabi dun sa employees mo kung ano yung mga magagandang qualities na pinakita niya or kung ano yung mga kailangan pa niyang i-improve. So, yung work na gagawin niya is para magiging stagnant or para sa kanya, okay naman yung ginagawa ko. But, well, in fact, there are some areas or there are some aspects na kailangan ng improvement. So, it is understaffing. Every organization should do a performance evaluation. So it is not just for your employees but also for the company to be able na mas makapag-deliver na mas magandang work or trabaho or pati yung sa mga attitudes toward work ng mga employees. Next is planning of employees' career. So, di ba earlier, we discussed that human resources is one of the most important resource ng isang organization. So, like any other resources, kailangan mo siyang ingatan and also pangalagaan, di ba? So, one way of doing that is planning the employee's career. So, you don't take your employees for granted, especially not high-performing ones who might seem happy but are always just a click away from a new job. So, kailangan mo silang pangalagaan pantay-pantay. So, several studies also, including LinkedIn's Why and How People Change Job Report found that the top reason people leave their job is a lack of opportunity for advancement. So, minsan, di ba, tatanungin mo, why did you resign? Or, why you leave your previous job, and then most of them answer that they want a career growth or they want to try another opportunity or they want an opportunity advancement or yung parang mas makakapag-elevate nung career nila. So, as a firm or as an organization, for your employees not to leave, so you need to plan their career. So if you're a managing or if you are managing a department and don't have a career development plan for everyone in it, I think that's a really a downside of the organization. So kailangan kasi nga meron ka ding career development plan. Hindi lang pwedeng andyan lang sila to do the work, but also you need to involve them or involve the company on their career growth. So normally what happens in an organization is that there is a formal meeting or there is a counseling kung ano yung mga plans mo for your career or what you want to accomplish. So here are a few examples of before you sit down for a formal meeting is ano yung mga preparation na pwede mong ibigay dun sa employees mo for them to develop a career plan. So, you can ask them to think about what they want to have accomplished in 5 years' time. So, this will give you something to create a plan around. So, for example, they want to be in this certain position. So, magkakaroon ka na ng plan on how to target that position. And then you can also ask them to take a look at their job description and think about how they want to progress in the next 12 to 24 months. And then you can ask them to think about what type of path they want to take, or do they want to specialize or move into management. So if or yan, so itatanong mo sa kanila if ano ba yung path na gusto nila. Gusto ba nila, for example, is doon pa rin sa operations or more on mas gusto na nila yung magmamanage na sila ng mga tao. So you can ask them those things. And also, it is also important to ask them to conduct a SWOT analysis or the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats analysis on themselves. So, how can they create a career plan that plays on their strengths? Or kung paano nila mas ma-work pa yung weaknesses nila? And how can they take advantage of the opportunities that they have? So, so within those things or those questions is matutulungan mo na yung employee mo to develop a career plan, and then you can discuss this with them and magkaroon kayo ng plan on how can you do it. And aside from that, hindi lang naman siya one-time meeting. So from every now and then, you need to ask them what's happening or any progress for their career plan. So something like that. Next is training of human resources. So to improve the competence of employees and to motivate them, it is necessary to provide training and development opportunities for employees so that they can reach the top and keep improving their skill. So more of this training and development discussion um, will be discussed in lesson 4, training and development. And of course, one of the most important thing for the human resources or for the employees is compensating human resources. So it refers to the price of the job. So it includes pays, the reward, and other incentives given to employees. So it includes direct as well as indirect payments. Direct payments are the wages or the salary, and then indirect payments such as medical facility or the insurance and other more. So the managers must fix right the compensation based on the qualification, the type of job, and of course, kung ano yung ginagawa niyong work or kung ano yung job description. And then, more of this will be discussed on our lesson 5. So lesson 5 is about the compensation or wages and performance evaluation or appraisal. And that's lesson 1, the definition and nature of staffing. Lesson 2, recruitment. So earlier, we identified recruitment as the process of identifying and attracting the people with the necessary qualifications. So, under recruitment, if there is a job opening, dapat yung mga administrators must be really careful when recruiting and choosing who to bring into the organization. So, they must see to it that the recruit possesses the knowledge and the skills needed to be successful in helping their company achieve their set goals and objectives. And he or she is suited for the job position and job design. So, ibig sabihin, ang recruitment, hindi din siya madaling process because you need to make sure na yung mag apply or yung recruit mo really possesses the knowledge and skills and alam talaga yung job description and it is well suited for him or her. So, recruitment may either be two. There is a two methods of recruitment. So we will be discussing this for the lesson 2. So again, recruitment may either be external or internal. So when we say external recruitment, outside sources are considered in the process of locating potential individuals who might want to join the organization. and encouraging them to apply for actual or anticipated job vacancies. So, unsolicited applications and referrals from employment agencies and schools are examples of sources outside the company from which the management could select an applicant who best fits the job opening. And later on, we will discuss the methods included under external recruitment. So, ano naman yung internal recruitment? So, in internal recruitment, filling job vacancies can be done through promotions or transfer of employees who are already part of the organization. So, in other words, yung recruitment is within the organization under internal. So, it might be transfer of employees from one department to another department or promotion of a certain employee to a higher position. So that's what you call internal recruitment. So let's discuss first the methods that are included under external recruitment. External recruitment methods include number one, advertisement. So through websites, newspapers, trade journals, radio, television, billboards, posters, and emails, among others. So ibig sabihin, dito nakalagay yung job description or what is the company is looking for or yung mga job offers, yun. So through advertisement. Unsolicited applications. So it is received by employers from individuals who may or may not be qualified for the job openings. So also, dito kasi para nagkakaroon ng initiative yung mag-a-apply to contact a company even though they may not have indicated that they need new staff. So, most people do not want to do this. After all, the prospective employer has not put out notice for new workers. But some, they are doing this unsolicited applications. Ito yung if wala pa naman job openings or if hindi naman sila sure kung may qualified sila but they still take the initiative to give their resume or their applications to add to the companies. Next is internet recruiting. So, independent job boards on the web commonly used by job seekers and recruiters to gather and disseminate job opening information. So, very popular is JobStreet, LinkedIn, and Caliber. So, itong K, it is Caliber. So, under this web or job sites, so you can see different job openings or job openings wherein makikita mo yung mga recruiters and at the same time, puntahan din siya ng job seekers. Kasi dito mo makikita kung anong company ba yung naghahanap ng ganitong or nung mga qualities mo or yung mga tinapos mo or related dun sa gusto mong gawin. So, yun. So, this is internet recruiting. So, it is very rampant nowadays since everyone is in the internet. Employee referrals. So, it is the recommendation from the organization's present employees who usually refer friends and relatives who think that are qualified for the job. So, for example, this certain individual is already an employee of a company and then malalaman niya merong opening for this position and alam niya na yung friend niya is really qualified for that. So, sasabihin niya dun sa friend niya na, uy, merong job opening sa company namin about this, ganyan, ganyan. And then, so that's a way of employee referral. So, ibig sabihin, nalalaman yung job opening or job description through the organization's present employees. And also, some companies, they give referral fees wherein nagbibigay sila sa mga present employees nila ng parang way of token siya or binibigay nilang reward for recruiting someone na qualified dun sa job or hinahanap ng company. Next is executive search firms. So it is also known as headhunters. So it helps employers find the right person for a job. So such firms seek out candidates with qualifications that match the requirements of the job openings that their client company hopes to fill. So ibig sabihin dito, meron separate na firm na sila yung maghahanap nung tamang employ candidates or people who are really qualified for the for the job requirements or yung hinahanap nung firm or nung business. Educational institutions, so good sources of young applicants or new graduates who have formal training but with very little work experience. So for technical and managerial positions, schools may refer some of their alumni who may have the necessary qualifications needed for the said job positions. So dito naman, ang with the use of yung mga educational institutions or kung anong school ka galing, for example, so nakakatulong sila kung paano ka maghahanap ng work. And at the same time, yung iba kasing companies, ganyan, minsan pumupunta na talaga sila dun sa mga educational institutions. Kaya nga meron di bang nagkakaroon ng mga job fair within the school. So, ganito yung ginagawa dito under ng educational institutions method. Next is professional associations. So, it may offer placement services to their members who seek employment. So, employers may make use of the listings that they publish in their journals regarding members who are available for possible recruitment or hiring. So, ibig sabihin, through the professional association, nagkakaroon ng chance yung mga members na sila na yung mismong hanapin ng employers. So, it can also be na yung employers ay member din nung professional association na yon. Kaya parang kaysa maghanap sila kung saan-saan pa, edi dun sa parang ka-member na nila. So, that's one way of external recruitment method. Labor union. So, possible sources of applicants for blue-collar and professional jobs. So, to kasing labor union or trade union is an organized group of workers who unite to make decisions about conditions affecting their work. So, ibig sabihin, halos pare-pareha sila ng nature of work. So, ano-ano ba tong example ng labor unions na meron tayo dito sa Philippines? So we have Federation of Free Workers, Bukluran ng Magagawang Pilipino, or the Collective Labor Movement, Kilusang Mayo 1, Katipunan ng mga Anak Pawis sa Pilipinas. So through this union, nagkakaroon siya ng way or possible na dito na hanapin or ito yung maging source para magkaroon ng applicants for the blue-collar and professional jobs. And aside from that, these labor unions are groups of workers who band together to have a better chance to obtain higher pay, benefits, and better working conditions. So, yun talaga yung pinaka parang purpose kung bakit may mga labor union. But yun nga, it is also a way kung paano magkakaroon ng work tong mga member nitong mga labor unions na to. Next is public and private employment agencies. So it may also be good sources of applicants for different types of job vacancies, for they usually offer free services while private ones charge fees from both the job applicant and employers soliciting referrals from them. So dito merong separate company or public or private employment agencies na tumutulong in order to find good sources or good applicants na qualified for the job vacancies. So usually nga ang china-charge nitong mga public or private employment agencies na to is yung fees nila sa paghahanap dito sa mga applicants na to, and also parang yung nagiging ano siya parang referral fee. So parang nagre-refer sila sa iyo, and then in return babayaran mo sila na parang ano siya, referral fee. So what do you think is the advantage of doing this? Syempre, yung iba kasi nagtitiwala sa gantong klase ng method. One thing is because lalo na kapag yung private or public agency is matagal na. So, technically, mas alam na nila kung paano mas makakakuha ng good sources of applicants. So, parang alam na din nila yung ginagawa nila. So, meron na silang processes ng maayos na pagkuha sa mga tao, pag-scan sa mga possible applicants. So, yun, parang i-delegate mo na sa kanila yung ganong processes para medyo ma-sure ka na qualified talaga yung mga employees na mapupunta sa'yo. So again, all of that are included under the methods of external recruitment. So now we're going to discuss the method naman of internal recruitment. So in internal recruitment, recruitment may be done by using company bulletin boards, company intranet, company newsletters, and recommendations from department or unit heads, among others. So, kasi 'di ba nabanggit nga natin kanina na under internal recruitment, yung recruitment is within the organization lang. So, it can be done by promotions or transfer of employees. So, paano mo nga gagawin yung internal recruitment? So, eto nga, pwede mo siyang gawin through bulletin boards, ilalagay mo dun yung mga job description or kung ano yung mga job that are vacant. And then you can also send emails or company newsletters or recommendations, for example, from one department to another department. So that's the way of recruiting under internal recruitment. So most managers actually prefer to follow a policy of filing job openings through promotions and transfer. So why? Because para mas maayos and mas clear and mas may process or parang mawalan ng issue, because sometimes it can be an issue because yung iba bine-base yung promotion dun sa tagal sa company. But what if there's really a competent person na kahit saglit pa lang siya, malaki yung edge or malaki yung contribution niya in achieving the goals or objectives of the organization. So yun. So kaya most managers mas pine-prefer nga nila na merong proper policy or merong policy na fina-follow. But again, under internal recruitment, so yung method na ginagawa is usually ito lang, company bulletin boards, company intranet, company newsletters, and recommendations. And that's the end of our lesson number 2, recruitment. Still under chapter 5, we're going to discuss next is lesson 3, selection, and lesson 4, training and development. Again, if you have questions or concerns, feel free to message me. Thank you guys. God bless and be safe always.